Let's go over some case budgets. How much money has the client given you to work a case? How much of that budget has been used? How do you add budget? The client calls and says, I don't want to do anything further. Let's close the case. At that time, you could decrease the budget and issue a refund to them if that's how your type of investigations go. You can also manage retainers and how much is used, owed back to the client. If you need to replenish a retainer, you can certainly do that all within the CROSStrax platform. I have opened this case here and we have been working on this case. The initial budget was $2,280 and that is based on our hourly rate. How does that budget get calculated? For this particular demonstration, our rate is $95 an hour and the client has authorized 24 hours of investigations, which gives us our total. Now, how much budget has been used? We've used $477.45, which if you roll over any of the I, which stands for information throughout the system, you'll see these little pop-outs. In this scenario, we can see that we have done 4.25 hours of scene investigation. We have traveled 134 miles at 55 cents a mile, which gives us this $73.70 for the total of currently used budget at $477.45. The budget remaining, of course, tells you how much budget is left on this particular case, and that is the amount. The budget used, you'll see here, will also match the items in your billing and expense tab. Click on that, billing and expenses, and you'll see we'll have these two items, which are the scene investigation and the mileage. If you add items here, your budget numbers are going to change. Now, these rates that these calculations are being done on are set up in your billing and expense items settings. These are the rates that you have entered. So for this type of investigation, you have entered $95, and for mileage, you have entered 55 cents per mile. As part of this video tutorial, I want to show you where these numbers come from and how these calculations are made and what numbers they're based on. As you can see, for this scene investigation, you have $95 an hour. I'm going to go over to our invoice and expense items. And you get there by clicking on settings and then clicking on invoice and expense items under the billing and invoices section. And as you can see here, for scene investigation, we have $95 an hour. The other item we have in our billing and invoices tab is the mileage, which we have at 55 cents. If you go down here to mileage, you'll see that it's set at 55 cents. And that's how this information is calculated. If you want to add a budget to a case, let's say this client calls and says, we want another $1,000 worth of investigations. You'll click on Edit Case, and you'll scroll down to the service area where this particular service is located. The budget field is located here, and click on Add Budget. This particular budget is listed in hours. Let's click on the budget field and add 8 hours. For the note, I'm going to say that the client needs additional investigation, and I'm going to add budget. Here you can see the change to our budget has been reflected. If you roll over the I, you can see the note for the additional budget that we added and also the amount, the total budget that is now part of this file. As you can see, the other numbers here, as the budget remaining has also been recalculated. Let's say the client made a mistake or somebody in the office made a mistake. Let's go back to Edit Case. And now we're going to take budget away. We're going to scroll down to that same budget section. We're going to click on Add Budget again. But this time, we're going to put a negative number. We're going to do -8. We'll add the note that says the client made a mistake and they want to remove the additional budget that they requested. We'll click on Add Budget. And as you can see, the budget has now been reduced back to 24 hours. To save this, we're going to click Submit. When we go back to the budget section, we can see that our budget has returned to the original budget and all of our numbers are back to normal. One thing to note is that if you have a case that is a flat rate, this type of budget calculation will not work. Let's say you have an asset investigation that you charge $250 flat rate for, and the client cancels the case or cancels that budget. In that scenario, you would just want to cancel the case and close it. You wouldn't have to do any type of budget manipulation. So just to recap, if you want to add or remove budget from a case, open that particular case, find the budget section, and you can add budget or remove budget from a case by clicking on Edit Case and then clicking on Add Budget. If you want to view the budget and how it's been used, you can roll over the I for each section in the budget, whether it's the budget that has been used, or the budget remaining. The budget that has been used is reflected and is taken from the Billing and Expense tab here. The billing and expense rates are over in Settings. And click on the Invoice and Expense items in the Billing and Invoices section. And you can set your rates for all of your billing and invoice items here, and those will be reflected in your budget use section.